Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where the weather here in the UK today, it is ludicrous. It is so hot. I've got a small portable air conditioning unit in my office, which I've had running, but I've had to turn it off because it makes too much noise to appear as background noise in the video. I have a fan that's been on. I've turned that off as well, so I'm now going to slowly cook during the course of the video. But I'm hopefully going to be distracted enough by James McGaughey's latest Times Crossword, and that's what hopefully I'm going to be able to solve for you in this video. And I hope it goes some way to assisting you in your own journeys to improve cryptic crossword solving. Now let's have a look at the stats for this one. I looked at the snitch first thing this morning and it was higher than average. Yeah, Jason James there, 8 minutes 45. That's going to be probably 3 minutes slower than Jason's average time. Matthew Marcus there, 10 minutes. Gosh, yeah. Andrew Fisher, 11 minutes 40. It's definitely hard, this one. Let's see if errors are accounting for the high average. No, there are no errors in the top 100. So it's unlikely to be, a particular entry. I mean, it could be a particular entry that's causing the problem, but I suspect it's just overall difficulty. Anyway, this is what we're going to have a go at in the video. Have I got is my dictionary showing? Looks like it is. A couple of things to mention, though, before we kick off, apart from the heat. Please, if you do enjoy these videos, the statistics tell us that the majority of people who watch the videos regularly and for long periods of time, so, who aren't just sort of dipping in and out of the videos, but actually stay with the videos and watch them for 10, 20, 30 minutes, are actually not subscribed to the channel. You may know this, you may not, but we are on something like 699,000 subscribers on little old Cracking the Cryptic, if you can believe it. So anything you can do to help us reach 700,000 subscribers would be so appreciated. I mean, it would be quite a milestone for us, and we're so close now. So just a small appeal. It's obviously free to subscribe to a YouTube channel, and it just helps the algorithm. It helps the algorithm to know that people enjoy these puzzles, and the wider audience these puzzles get, I think, the better. So that's one thing. Over on Patreon, we've got Mark's solve of the latest Club Monthly special from the Times, which is a monster puzzle by Roger Phillips. So that is very much worth watching. Mark always attempts those Club Monthly specials, which are brutal with no dictionary, and the vocab can just go crazy in that. So to be able to do that it's quite magical to watch. And also there's going to be a listener solve. Some of you have been asking for that, whether we can do some more listener solves. There's going to be one very soon, once the closing date passes and we're able to show the video. There's going to be a listener solve. I won't mention which puzzle it's going to be, but that's coming up soon, and we will do more listener solves, I think, as well going forward. And I've got a birthday to do today. Happy birthday, Henry. You're turning the big 30. I know this because your girlfriend Maddie wrote to me. And I was amused to read that your surname, Henry, is Setter. So there can be few more appropriate. I mean, you could be called Sudoku or Crossword, but I haven't met many people in life who are. So Henry Setter, many happy returns on your 30th. I hope you get some chocolate cake today, and it's heavily iced, of course. And also, I will thank Sam of Cog's Turn Puzzles fame for your kind email, Sam. We do appreciate emails like that. And thank you for taking the time to write to us. And that's all the news, I think. So, should we attempt to do some solving? Let's click this one. Do have a go yourselves, of course, over on the Times website. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And we've got one across. Let's see what James McGaughey has in store for us. James, I'm always a huge fan of James's puzzles because his clues are so beautifully written. Now, this is 8 letters. Pounds exchanged for hotel in good-humoured game. Right. I don't know what this is yet, but I do think I understand how it works. Now, remember, every single cryptic crossword clue contains a straightforward, in inverted commas, definition of the answer. And that definition is normally at the start or the end of the clue. There are some exceptions. We may find some exceptions in this puzzle, but that is a general rule that you can take away and bank. So this is probably an 8-letter word which means pounds, or it's an 8-letter word which means game. Or it could mean good-humoured game, but there probably aren't too many words that mean good-humoured game. What's the rest of the clue? The rest of the clue is a set of instructions. I sometimes refer to it as a recipe that tells you how to build the answer up from its constituent parts, if you like. So it might say, put this small word into this other word, or it might say reverse these letters, or it might say anagram these letters, but it has to be a specific set of instructions. So let's read this clue again. With that in mind, I think this is an 8-letter word for a game. Now, pounds exchanged for hotel. Something you have to learn the more you want to improve your cryptic crossword solving is about abbreviations. Lots of words have valid abbreviations in cryptic crosswords, but it is almost universally true to say that those abbreviations have to be supported by the dictionary. So when we read this, pounds exchanged for hotel, hotel is the international radio alphabet word for the letter H. If we go to the dictionary and we type in hotel, there it literally says it. In international radio communication, a code word for the letter H. So, So this is actually saying, now what could pounds be? I think pounds might be L. I think that's from the Latin or something. I don't know. Let's have a look. But L is what I have in mind. Libra, pound sterling. There may be other abbreviations that are possible here, but this is what I'm thinking. Pounds, I'm thinking it's L. It might be double L, I suppose, for pounds plural. Exchange for hotel. So we're going to take an H out of an 8-letter word, I think, for good-humoured. So I think we're putting L for H in a word for good-humoured. Now, if you're good-humoured, you're amicable. I need a word with an H in it. And the whole thing's going to become the name of a game. Now, that could be game as in a game like checkers, or it could be a game as in something that's shot, like a pheasant. No, I keep putting no. No, now I'm seeing pleasant and pheasant. It must be something to do with pleasant and pheasant. Pounds exchanged. It feels almost like it's the wrong way round. So I think what's happening here is we take the word pleasant, which is a word that means good-humoured. If you're good-humoured, you're pleasant. Yeah, okay. Now, so I've read it a bit wrong, or I suppose it's arguable it works either way. And what we're saying, what James is saying, is that in the word good-humoured, we are exchanging the L and the H. I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to be taking H out and putting L in, but I think you could read it the other way. So if we do that, we actually get the name of game as in something you would shoot for food, I suppose. So pheasant is, I think, the answer. And yeah, it's important you understand how the structure of cryptic clues work, or you might be thinking, oh, well, how do I know whether it's pleasant or pheasant? But the instruction is very clear. We're adjusting the word good-humoured, pleasant, and the way we're adjusting it is by substituting L's for H's. So now we should find that this begins with H, or everything I've said is total nonsense. So 5 letters, two down, beginning with H. Obscure by the sound of it, this writer's best-selling novel. Obscure by the sound of it, this writer's best-selling novel. I don't know. I actually don't know what that is. And what's more, I don't quite know how to read it. This with the possessive here, the apostrophe, is James referring to himself. Now, obviously, the average cryptic crossword solver of the times today doesn't know that this is by somebody called James. So it's not going to have anything to do with James personally. But when you see cryptic crossword writers referring to themselves somehow, it's normally going to be I or me is the word that we're going to need. So best-selling novel, beginning with H. Obscure. I don't know. I don't know what that one is, I'm afraid. Let's try 3 down. 11 letters, beginning with A. Take out 2 mugs during fancy tea. That's a beautiful clue. I know how this... I don't know the answer yet, hopefully, but I do know how it works. So let's use the principles that we talked about with one across. So one side of the clue is going to be the definition. So we're looking for an 11-letter word which means take or take out, or it means tea or fancy tea. Now, the bits of this that I think can be read more naturally as instructions, this phrase, during fancy tea, I think is an instruction to say we're going to put 2 words for mugs, I don't know what they are yet, during an anagram of the word tea. We're going to treat the letters of the word tea in a fancy way. We're going to give them a glow up by reordering them. So I suspect that we're looking for this sort of construction. Now, 2 mugs. A mug can be a cup, obviously, or it could be an idiot or a fool or a take. Oh, no, that wouldn't work. I wondered if it could be if we were outing the letters of 2 mugs, would that give us 11? It would only give us 10. So it's not an anagram of 2 mugs. So I think it does mean take out. To take out is to sort of eliminate, isn't it? If you take somebody out, you murder them. Or you might date them. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, I can't get that one. That's annoying. Let's try 4 down. 6 letters. Periodical, article in reverse. Periodical article in reverse. I don't know what this is, but again, trying to just apply those same principles. It could be the name of a periodical, like a magazine. I was thinking maybe an annual. Or if something is periodical, it's annual. An article could be the indefinite article, an, a, or the, in reverse. Oh, right. Okay, it is annual. Wow. So the way this works in terms of the recipe, if you do see article in a cryptic crossword clue, it is almost always either a, an, or the, which are the various definite and indefinite articles in grammar. Now here, I think this article is this a very specifically. And we're going to put that into a 5-letter word, which means reverse. And if you reverse something, you annul it, don't you? You sort of, in law, you reverse the effects of it. So I think it is annual. Not a desperately easy clue. We could let's keep going with the starting letters. Let's have a look at 5 down. 8 letters beginning with T. Propose returning money in place of fare. Propose. I'm going to propose. I'm going to tender. I'm going to. Why is my I do that and my watch says, "Oh, are you exercising?" No, it's just how hot it is, and what it does to my heart rate. Propose returning money in place of fare. Is a place of fare a table? Propose. I don't know. I quite like place of fare being table, but I can't think of returning money. A 3-letter synonym for money. Tin, I think, would work. My phone's buzzing. Don't know what that one is. Right, let's try 9 across, hopefully with an N in its 7th or last position. 7 letters. Thrill, small boy, on last day of school. I know this one. Okay, I can do this one, finally. So again, let's apply the same principle. Do you think this is a 7-letter word for a thrill? Or do you think it's a 7-letter word for a school? Or a day of school? Now, if you think it's thrill, well done, you're correct. This is a 7-letter word for a thrill. Now, a small boy. Small is one of these abbreviations that actually isn't supported in the dictionary. It's the only one, small, medium and large. I think medium's in, but for a different reason. But if you saw S on a label of clothing, you would know it meant small size, wouldn't you? So nobody would be in any doubt. And therefore the Times editors have decided that for small and large, S and L are completely valid abbreviations, even though they are not in the dictionary. If we go to S in the dictionary, we will not find here small. And even if you had a modern dictionary, it still wouldn't have it. So, but this small here is an S. If you see boy in a cryptic crossword clue, it could be the name of any boy. Normally a short name like Al. That can happen, but very often it's going to be lad or son, S-O-N. So what we're doing here is we're putting S for small plus S-O-N on, i.e. adjacent to, last day of school question mark. Well, if you're at school, what's the last day of the week? Friday. So this is really how the clue works. And a frisson is a thrill. It's funny. I think this is an easy clue, but I can appreciate as I'm describing how it works that probably if you're not used to these things, that must seem like alchemy, but it's not. It's just practice and knowing how these clues work. Let's try 9 down, 8 letters, beginning with F. Because bed's missing odd pieces, have a go at woodwork. Have a go at woodwork. I don't know what that means. The start of this makes me think that we're looking at the phrase because bed. And we're going to knock out of that the odd numbered letters. So letters in positions 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. Now, if we do that, we get EAS, EASBD. Is that really what we get? Yeah, it is. The even numbered letters are EASBD. Or maybe because. Well, maybe we're looking for a short synonym for because. Could that be for? I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for this reason. I'm doing it because. I think for and because are synonymous. And then if the word bed misses its odd letters, then I just get E. I just get that E then. Have a go at forest. Oh, it's for. Ooh, right. So it's not bed. It's bed apostrophe S, which is actually 4 letters. And if I miss the B and the D out of those 4 letters, I get an extra S. I get E and S left over. Have a go at something. You try it. And that allows me to construct forestry. And that is, I suppose, woodwork, isn't it? If you're involved in the activity of forestry, you are doing work in a wood, literally. And that's why the question mark is there, because woodwork would normally be carpentry. But working in a wood It's a pun. James is indicating that this woodwork definition is a bit naughty, but it's absolutely, it's quite funny. It raises a smile. But, okay, here's an interesting thing I've noticed about this clue, is I solved it without understanding at all how the definition worked, or really anything about it. I solved it by trying to understand the recipe part of the clue, and not understanding it for a lot of it. But I sort of backed into it and managed to solve it. And that's one of the great things about these puzzles, is you can be so wrong and yet still somehow glean the answer. Now let's try this. 13 letters beginning with R, 11 across. Okay, let's stop after the word check, because I do know a short synonym for check beginning with R, and it's rein. If you rein somebody in, you check their progress. So is this Heidi going down? Best-selling novel. That could be Heidi, couldn't it? Rein. Gallery. Tate. Staff in street. Yes. Okay. Reinstatement is what we're looking for here. So let's work out why. Rein is to check. Gallery, staff. A gallery is the Tate, as in the Tate Gallery. Staff, men, and then that all goes in ST, which is a very valid abbreviation that everybody would know for the word street. And reinstatement is return to office. If somebody is reinstated, they're rehired, aren't they? So this is going to be Heidi, the Swiss novel, I suppose. Oh, right. Why is it Heidi? That is a good question. So here we've got our favourite device of cryptic crossword setters, which is the homophone. It's a word that sounds the same as another, but is spelt completely differently and very often has a very different meaning. So I want to think about the word hide. H-I-D-E. Now, to hide is to obscure. But what James is doing here is saying, think of this word for obscure, hide, H-I-D-E, and we're going to have a word, H-E-I-D, which sounds the same, but is spelt totally differently. So that's the first part of the clue, up to the D. And then this writer, apostrophe S, he's referring to himself. I'm going to do something. This writer's going to do something. So we've got Heidi, and Heidi was a best-selling novel as well. I remember it from school, from TV. Is that Heidi? That might not be Heidi. No, it might be Heidi, because that's not the other one I was thinking of. Was that wonderful music for The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and his friends, or something. Days that were living when living was easy, and something on the river went seeking adventure in some pirate's den. That was quality. I mean, if you're watching this video and that's brought back any memories, I hope that those memories make you smile, because they made me smile. Is this assessment or something then? Take out. That probably isn't. Oh, two mugs. An ass might be a mug. Two mugs. During. Assassin. Oh, this is lovely. Hang on, I know what this is now. It's assassinate. So we said that to take out might be to kill. But if you take somebody out, you assassinate them. How does it work? Ass and ass are the two mugs. During, if something is during something, is in it. And then we put the fancy T at the end. And we get assassinate to take out. Lovely clue. Right, so 14 across, 6 letters, beginning with S. Time absent, that is, accompanied by criticism. Time absent, that is, accompanied by criticism. I don't know what this is, but that is very often ie, as in id est, Latin for that is. So could this end ie is what I'm thinking of. Sorty? No. I think this is going to be a 4-letter word for criticism. Like flack, but not flack because it begins with S. And the whole thing is going to be time absent. Time absent is... I don't know. Maybe it's not IE at the end. Not sure what that one is. Right, let's try that one then. This could be... Often it's good. If you've got like a phrase like this, 3-5, don't look at the clue. Just try and get it without looking at the clue. Read something. There's a red house over yonder. No, stop thinking about Jimi Hendrix. I don't know what this is. I will have to look at the clue to solve it. 18 across. Angry-looking US agent ran after Spooner. Okay, here we've got a reference to Spooner, which is terrifying. Because I think I talked about this last week. The Reverend Spooner was famous, I think, in about 1910, 1920. And when I say famous, I wonder really how famous he was, but he must have been fairly famous because he's still appearing in Cryptic Crosswords now, for muddling up the opening syllables of phrases. So imagine the phrase Red Cross. That might become Cred Ross in the Reverend Spooner's land. Right, angry-looking red. US agent narc ran after angry-looking red-faced. That's it. Red-faced. Let's spoonerize it. So let's mix up the first syllables. Fed, raced. A Fed is a federal agent, a US agent, and if they raced somewhere, they ran there. So US agent ran after. Or after Spooner, as in spoonerized, becomes red-faced, as in angry-looking, and also me today because it's so hot. Let's have a look at 15 down, which is 9 letters. Notice aliens during approach shot. Military... I've read that appallingly. Let's try again. Notice aliens during approach shot military training post. Notice aliens. Military Aldershot is a military training post. May talk of gin and beer when you're quartered. Way out here. That's Gunga Din, isn't it? Isn't Aldershot it, I want to say. Why is it Aldershot? Notice, a notice is an advert, as in an ad, but that would give an A here rather than there. Aliens, if you see aliens in Cryptic Crosswords, it won't surprise you to know it can be UFOs, but it's much more often ET, so plural ETS is what I'm thinking. During approach shot, a chip. I'm thinking of golf, an approach shot. Cadet ship. Okay, so we've backed into that, and it wasn't anything to do with Gunga Din. Cadet ship. So how does it work? Well, the approach shot in golf was the chip, and then we put AD for notice, ETS for alien. So it's exact. I had got the constituent parts correct for once, and you just put AD and ETS in chip, and we get cadet ship, which is a military training post, as in literally a job. So this one is time. Oh, a sickie. Time. It must be sickie. Time absent. That is accompanied by criticism. Why is sick criticism? Stick. Wow. Right. Okay, well, this is a much more complicated clue than I'd understood. Okay, so one thing I said at the beginning is that almost all clues can be divided into, or can be treated as having a definition at one end of the clue or the other. There are two main deviations from that rule. There's something called a cryptic definition, typically symbolized by a question mark, where the whole clue needs to be read and then thought about very laterally. So it's literally the whole clue is a definition of the answer. It's just you have to think about the words of the clue in a very punny way. The second exception, which is the hardest type of clue to write, frankly, is what's called, the technical word for it is an and lit. Now, what is an and lit? It is a clue where the entire clue operates as a definition of the answer to be entered, and the entire clue simultaneously acts as a recipe that gives you that answer. So you can imagine if you're having to make everything do double duty effectively, it's very, very hard to write a good and lit. Now, but that's what this is. So let's read the whole clue and see if it defines a sickie. Time absent that is accompanied by criticism. Yeah, a sickie would typically be that, wouldn't it? If you throw a sickie, you will get criticism for it if anyone finds out. And so it's very precisely is defining sickie. Yet, it's also exact wordplay for this series of letters. How does it work? Time can be abbreviated to T. Maybe you remember Newton's equations, V equals U plus AT. Time, T in that is time. And if we go to the dictionary, it will be supported. Probably. No, it really will. No, it really, oh, there. I was thinking it really will, and then it was. Okay, so T is absent, with T absent, that is, i.e., accompanied by criticism, or criticism is stick. If you give somebody stick, you criticize them. So we take the T out of stick, put it with i.e., and we get sickie. So it's doing two things at once. Very clever clue. And really, we were lucky to solve that, because if we hadn't got all three checking letters, that would have been far harder. Let's try this one. Treasure chest would fit. It might be something like that. Wealth is in the clue. So 8-5, beginning with T. Certain, well, it's definitely treasure something. Certain charges to deal with overshifting. It's not. It's nearly treasure chest. It's treasure trove. Wealth is the definition, and wealth is a treasure trove would be a source of wealth, wouldn't it? Now, how does it work? Certain is sure. If you're sure of something, you're certain of it. And that, if you imagine charging a glass, what would you do? Oh, let's everyone charge their glasses. You'd fill, wouldn't you? So filling up, to deal with, is to treat. So filling up, the word treat is the word sure, as in certain. And that all goes with over shifting. So if the letters of over shift, we could get rove, R-O-V-E. So again, notice how the grammar is perfect. Certain, it doesn't read like it. When you first read the clue, certain charges to deal with over shifting wealth, it sounds like it's to do with the police work, people shifting wealth from one jurisdiction to another or something. But once we read it correctly, we understand charges is as in fills. It works grammatically perfectly. And that's the skill of the great cryptic crossword setters. They make words do magic because they know the meanings of the words and they use them out of context in ways that you don't expect. Now should we go for 23 down, because it would really help with these two across entries. So 4 letters, we have none of them. Deliberate heat with spices, or deliberate heat with spices. I don't know what this is. I think, if I was guessing, I would think it's a word for deliberate or deliberate. And the way I read the recipe, if that's right, and it might not be, but if that's right, I think we're looking for a 3-letter word for heat. And heat, is a heat a euphemism for the police? If you put heat on somebody, do you put the police onto them? I'm not sure, but okay, it could be something like that. And then with spices, well, with has an abbreviation, which is W. So I'm wondering whether with, as in the letter W, is going to spice up our 3-letter word for heat. And I think by spicing it up, perhaps it's added to it. If you add spices to something, you would spice it up. So I'm wondering if spices is being used as a container indicator here. In which case, all I really know is this is a 4-letter word with a W in it, in that position or that position. Probably not here, because this would be a funny word. Just certainly doesn't look like it begins W blank H, just having a quick look at the clue. So the W is probably here, and it means deliberate or deliberate. And I don't know it. That's very annoying. All right, let's try and get this one. Sorry, that was a bit of an excursion, and a fool's excursion, it turns out. So 24 across, 7 letters. Remove fastening, unhinge, from unopened box full of clobber. Unhitch. Punch. Yeah, it's unhitch, I think. Wow. Okay. Why do I think it's this? Well, if you remove the fastening from something, you unhitch it. You unhitch your wagon. How does it work? We need a word for box. And I think if you box somebody, you punch them. And then that word is unopened. So it loses its P. So that just gives us UNCH. And that's full of, so inside that word, we have a word for clobber. And that's clobber not as in clobber you might wear, but if you clobber somebody, you hit them. So there's 2 references to punching in this one. If we put hit in punch without its opening, we can create unhitch from the recipe. And that means remove the fastening of something. So deliberate. Sure. Heat sun. I still don't know that. Okay, let's try 25 across 3 letters, beginning with T. A great deal of those, tops excluding stockings. Great deal on those tops excluding stockings. A great deal of something is a ton of it. Why is that the answer? On those tops excluding stockings. I'm not sure. I'm being slow there. I know I am. I'm just not seeing that. Sorry. Let's try 27. This might be an N. Lupin would fit. Anyway, a pretty spiked plant. I don't know whether a lupin is a spiked plant, but maybe it is. Anyway, 5 letters. Pretty spiky plant, left out of bed, then included. Well, okay, it is lupin. I think lupin must be a spiky plant. Pretty spiky. Yeah, maybe it's pretty as well, rather than it's pretty spiky. You know what I mean? So, if a lupin is pretty and it is spiky, it's certainly a plant. That's the only part of it I know. But I can justify lupin from the recipe. Left can be abbreviated to L. If you're out of bed, you are up. And if we after this we then put a word for if you're included, you are in. So that would give us lupin. So this does look like it's TON. Great deal, as in a lot of something, a ton of things. On those, tops. It is ton. Right. So the way this works is we take the word on, that's this on in the clue, we put those, the word those, on top of it because it tops the word on, and then we exclude from the word, from that string of letters, which is now THOSEON, a word for stockings, which are hose, HOSE. As in sort of lederhosen, I suppose. I don't actually know what the etymology is, but hose is certainly a word for stockings. So we take the hose out, and that gives us ton, and that's a great deal of something. So we have at least understood that. It's very important, actually, in a clue like this, that you do take the time to try and justify this check letter, because just about all the vowels fit there and would make real words. So we have to take the time there, or we should take the time, or we're taking an awful risk. Now, deliberate heat with spices. Heat with spices. Deliberate. Deliberate. Yeah. My idea of putting W in here just looks like absolute nonsense, doesn't it? So that means I've got to come up with a different reading of the clue. Deliberate. Mull. Yeah, mull is correct. If you deliberate over something, you mull it over. And mull, if you mull wine, what do? You heat it and you add the spices. So it's a double definition, and that's fine. That's the sort of terrifying clue you get in the Times Crossword Championship, and then your brain goes blank. And the reason this is so terrifying is I don't know how many letters or words there are that are blank U blank L, but it's a lot. So you're very aware of the fact that there's an awful lot of opportunities to get that wrong. Now, let's try 17 down, which we've got lots of letters, and it's 8 letters overall. Female colonial bishop supports imam she converted. Okay, I do know this. This is a very strange word. I think this is a word of Indian origin. Although that might be wrong, but if it is, I apologise. So we're looking for a word for a female from the colonies. And how does the wordplay work? Well, in chess, a bishop, if the bishop went to A8, you go bishop B A8. So B can be a valid abbreviation for bishop. And that supports, this is a down clue, so our abbreviation for bishop is going to be at the bottom, acting as sort of atlas, supporting imam she converted. So we're literally anagramming imam she. We're going to convert those letters. And if we do that, we can create mem sahib. And I think that is a word. So let me try and well, let's look it up. I'm pretty sure it's a word. Mem sahib. There we go. In colonial India, so I wasn't too wrong. A title of address for a married European woman. So mem sahib is right. Strange. I say strange. It's a word I only know from crosswords. Let's have a look at 28 across, which is 8 letters, beginning with B. Mount top quality horse? Question mark. Mount. Could that be a mount as in literally some sort of horse that we're mounting, or could it be a mount as in a hill? A mount like in Scotland, Ben Nevis. Could it be Ben something? Horse. It's not Benjamin, is it? I don't think it is, but there's something in my brain that makes me want to write that in. I'm trying to work out whether Jamin could be top quality, and whether Benjamin is certainly a reference to money. I think because Benjamin Franklin appears on US notes. But I think it might be a word for drugs as well, and horse is a word for drugs. So could jamin, Jamin, be top quality somehow? It's really jamming. I don't know. I quite like the idea of that. I definitely don't think it's worthy of a lookup. I'm not confident enough for that. Let's have a look at 20 down. This N might be wrong. 6 letters. A horde's descriptor primarily is wandering. No, I'm not sure whether this is right now. Descriptor primarily, it makes me think of the letter D. I'm not sure. I'm now not thinking. I was thinking of the word around. If you're around, are you wandering? And then could it be a and then a horde? If a word for a horde was ROUN, which I don't think it is, and then D at the end. Oh, what was a funny noise? I don't know what that. I'm going to have to go and check what that is after I've done the video. It's probably just a window smashing or something. Okay, let's try 22 down. Don't get distracted, Simon. 5 letters. Current beneath duck. Shown presumably running smoothly. Oiled? Maybe that is oiled. I'm not sure, but I think I can justify oiled. Duck. If you get a duck in cricket, you get no score. And the letter O is used to signify nothing or 0 scores. And that is actually supported by the dictionary. It's not just, if you look at literally the definition of the word O, where is it? Here. In a series of numbers, naught or nothing, anything round or nearly so. So this could be a duck here, could be this O. Current, how would you indicate current in physics? It's with an I, as in Ohm's law, V equals IR. And then shown presumably, or shown. If you're shown something, are you led to it? I think you might be. And then presumably running smoothly would be oiled. And this is not Benjamin, unfortunately. Horse. Top quality. Don't know. We haven't looked at this one. 6-5, beginning with E. Structure likely to induce vertigo. Something Eiffel Tower is going to be the answer. For we feel it wobbles. Yeah. So you can see, if we look at the letters for we feel it, can you see they look weird? They do to me. They look strange. Whenever that happens when you're reading a clue, you should always be thinking, why do these letters look strange? The constructor must have used these letters for a very particular reason, and the most common reason will be they're necessary to make an anagram work. And if those letters wobble, we're going to anagram them. So Eiffel Tower is going straight in there. So bestride. Aha. So it's nothing to do with Benjamin. We will look up Benjamin in a minute, though. But if you mount a horse, you are bestride it, aren't you? And the best ride would define the top quality horse, ? So that question mark, again, is indicating that James is being punny with language. Best ride would be a way to describe a top quality horse. Now let's look up Benjamin. I'm pretty sure it can mean money. Favourite child, look at that. An overcoat. Gum benzoin, whatever that is. What's that? Gum benzoin. a type of some sort of drug, but it's not the sort of drug I thought it was with horse. It didn't actually say anything about US money there. I'm sure that it's a slang term for US money. I'm very surprised that isn't there. I would not have blinked or not have thought twice about that. Okay, let's try 26. 7 letters. Like audio but not rhythm, promise TV won't show tango. That's great. That's such a good service. Like audio but not rhythm, promise TV won't show that. I hope that TV won't show the tango again. That would be an outrage. Promise. Like audio but not rhythm. Okay, I don't know what this is, but a word for a TV is a telly, as in a television, T-E-L-L-Y. And if that word didn't show tango, tango is the international radio alphabet word for T, isn't it? If we look up tango, there we go. So maybe this ends like this. SS Kinwelly. It's Milkwood, isn't it? Promise. Vowely. Vowely? Is that a word? A vowel and then telly without its T. Like audio. Oh, very beautiful. Oh, that's gorgeous. What a gorgeous clue. So this is literally, it's not using the meanings of the words audio and rhythm. It's literally saying that the word audio is quite vowely. It's got four vowels out of 5 letters, but the word rhythm has no vowels at all. So that's how the clue is working. It's working in a very literal sense to do with the letters in the word. That's beautiful. And now we've got 20 down. A horde's descriptor primarily is one. It must be, yes, I've got this one. So descriptor primarily is D, but it's actually at the start. And is wandering, roves. And put those together, droves, a hordes. A horde is a drove, but in the plural, so droves. Very nice clue again. And we're working our way around the grid. 13 down, ending in Y, 8 letters. Warmth under your covers, accompanied by loud blasts. I don't know what James is referring to here. Warmth under your covers, accompanied by loud. I don't know what this is, but loud, if you see this in cryptic crossword clues, if you saw loud on a musical score, it might be indicated by F, to play loudly. Fortissimo or something, isn't it? So F could be loud. Blasts. Warmth under your covers, accompanied by loud blasts. No, I don't know. For some reason, feathery came into my brain. I don't know why, but it's totally wrong. 19 across, 6 letters. Yank wearing old jacket. Yank. There's so many words for old jackets. I was thinking of reefer. A reefer is a type of jacket. I think ulster is a jacket. Yank. Don't know what that one is either. Okay, so let's try 16. 3, 5. Uncomfortable feeling, toilet water connected to wrong pipe. Uncomfortable feeling, toilet water connected to wrong pipe. It's a brilliant clue. I don't know what it's referring to. I don't know which bit of it's the definition. Uncomfortable feeling. I've got an ill feeling. I've got a bad bad feeling about this. Sir Richard Hive of scum and villainy. Uncomfortable feeling. The Force? Toilet water. Toilet water, is that sort of like perfume? I know it's very unlikely to literally be the water in one's toilet, but I think toilet water can be eau de toilette and things like that, can't it? So perfume. Connected to wrong pipe. I don't know what that one is either. I'm going to need some help from these ones up here. Let's try and get this one. 5 letters. Count in German, back from 100. It's hard work. Count in German. I've done this one. Okay. In Germany, I think a count, as in a noble person, is a graph. And the back of the word 100 is a T. And that gives graft, and graft is hard work. Let's see if graph is in the dictionary. There we go. It's in the English dictionary. Etymology, German. 3 down, not 3 down, 6 down, 3 letters, beginning with G. Shut up. Gag? Something a comedian should do. So another double definition. It is gag. If you shut somebody up, you gag them, and a comedian should do a gag. 7 down, 9 letters, beginning with A. Terrified when lorry clips our side. When lorry clips our side. Our side, that's us. If we were talking about our side, we'd be talking about us. So I'm thinking this might end in US or probably OUS. Terrified. I am absolutely... I don't know. I can't think of it. All right, let's try 8 down, beginning with T. 4 letters. Essay about old enemy of Starmer, perhaps. Okay. So this comes up quite a lot in cryptic crosswords. Not the political aspects of this, but the word essay. And when we think of an essay, our minds, or my mind, would have gone back to school before I started solving cryptic crosswords. But then I discovered that essay is a word for try. Let's look that up. Essay. A written composition, an attempt. There we go. So a try. So if we put try around O, which is a valid abbreviation for old, then we have a choice. We're either putting the word Troy in. Is that an enemy of Starmer? I don't think so. Or we could go for Tory. And a Tory is probably an enemy of Keir Starmer. So that is going to be the answer. That clue is, I suppose, close to being. Probably people will know the name Keir Starmer for some years to come. But given what's going on in UK politics at the moment, that clue, if it had happened in a couple of years, might have been out of date. Now, 7 letters, 10 across this is. Get to tolerate particular pain. Get to tolerate particular pain. Get to. Bug. If you get to somebody, you bug them. If you tolerate something, you bear it. And a particular pain is a bugbear. So, yeah, that's... I don't know how tricky that one is. I think this G was very helpful. Now, table would work here in some way, wouldn't it? A place of fair, is it tabletop? Yes, it's tabletop. Right. Okay. So we had some thoughts that were along the right lines for this one before, but I actually thought table was part of the recipe. Whereas actually place of fair, is the definition. And actually when we reread the clue, I think what James is trying to get the clue to read is sort of the place that you would pay for your fare on the bus or something. Propose returning money in place of fare. Whereas I always read fare here as referring to food that you would eat. And a place where you would eat food might be a tabletop. How does the recipe work then? We've got propose returning money. If you propose something, you would table it. And a word for money is the pot, what's in the pot if you're playing poker or something. So we return that word and we get top. So tabletop is good there. So we better go for this. Terrified. I am terrified. I am, don't know. Alert. When lorry clips our side. What is going on there? Have we looked at all the... I think we've looked at all these clues now. Uncomfortable feeling. Toilet water. Connected to wrong pipe. We really do need to get this one, don't we? This was 7 down. Terrified. When a lorry can be an artic, as in an articulated lorry, A-R-T-I-C. It could be a ute, maybe. Is that a utility vehicle? When lorry clips our side. I still think this is a word that means terrified. Terrified. I'm absolutely... I don't know, sorry. We've looked at this one, haven't we? Oh, goodness, yeah. Warmth under your covers, accompanied by loud blasts. Feathery would fit there. Why did my brain think that? I don't think it is feathery. I'm just thinking of feathery duvets and things. And I think my brain's going, because of the F from loud and the word heat for warmth, it's combining those somehow. Warmth under your covers, accompanied by loud blasts. Foghorny or something. No, it's not that, is it? Okay, let's go back to 16 across. 3-5. Uncomfortable feeling. Toilet water. Connected to wrong pipe? Question mark. Uncomfortable feeling. I mean, I've got a really uncomfortable feeling. I've got a real moo-faced. And it's not moo-faced. Moo-faced. I don't know. Could that be a word? Could that be a phrase? To be moo-faced. It's getting so hot in here. I'm starting to feel very uncomfortable myself. I've got a very uncomfortable feeling. Let's go back to this. Yank wearing old jacket. Yank wearing old. What could old be? Aged? X? Jacket. It's going to be the name of a... tux... Oh, no, I thought it was going to be tuxedo. No, it's not. Old jacket. Yank. Yank. I don't know. I mean, it's clearly trying to refer me to thinking about a Yankee, an American person, but yank can be to tug, to pull. A jacket is a... I think it's going to be a word for a jacket. Why is the word penace coming to? I don't think that is even a word. Yank, wearing old, passé, past. I don't know what that is. So we've got these 4 answers. I haven't got a clue what they are. I'm slightly terrified. Terrified when lorry clips our side. It's possible if our side was us, I think this might be an S. So yank wearing old jacket. Yank wearing old. No, don't know. Or terrified. When lorry. I mean, what can lorry be? Truck. Awestruck. Awestruck is the answer. I don't know why that is. It's got nothing to do with US, has it? Awestruck is terrified. When? Oh, our side is we. Oh, goodness. Okay. So it's as truck. When is as. Truck is lorry. And that's clipping, so it's securing within it. We for our side, not us. So, and that gives us awestruck. Now, jerkin is the answer there. Sorry, I should have got that immediately. Yank is if you yank something, you jerk it. If you're wearing something, you're in it. So jerkin, uncomfortable feeling is toilet water connected to wrong pipe. Don't know. And then we've got an N in this one. Warmth under your covers, accompanied by loud blasts. Flannery or something. Warmth under your covers. Accompanied by loud blasts. What is that talking about? Wintry or horn. And what is this one? Uncomfortable feeling. Toilet could be, what could that be? Loo? Water connected to wrong pipe. A pipe is a flue? Something fluey? No, surely not. An uncomfortable feeling. A funk? A rump? I don't know. I still don't actually know what the definition is here. I don't know whether it's uncomfortable feeling or this water connected to wrong pipe ? It's something like something fount or found or flunk. Okay, and then I've got this one down here. Warmth under your covers. Blankety? Warmth under your tog? Warmth under your covers. Accompanied by loud blasts. See, I think this is going to begin with L. And then I think it's going to be a word for warmth under your covers, which I don't know what that means. But something. And then the whole thing is going to mean blasts. So that might be as in gunnery, or, you know, sort of guns firing, mightn't it? Musketry or blasts are under your covers. Wintry. No, it's just not. I'm just not having quite the right thought, am I? And this one is the checking one. Maybe this is why all the times are slow, because actually the rest of this, I mean, we take our time when we do these explanatory videos, but the rest of it, I don't think would have held up. I mean, maybe this jerking awestruck thing, maybe a bit, but maybe this is a nasty entry, and that's what's causing the problems. So I'm going to have to come up with the answer here. Uncomfortable feeling. Toilet water. Connected to wrong pipe. I mean, what is that talking about? I haven't got a clue. And then warmth under your covers. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, that's very clever. So, I mean, this is appalling of me. So, can I no, focus on what you're doing, you silly man. Right. So, in most Times Crosswords, there is something called a hidden. And normally these are the first ones you look for when you're starting to solve puzzles. And normally they're the easiest clues, quite frankly. But if they're exceptionally well written, or if the solver is a muppet, they can be hard to see. And this is so well worded with the warmth under your covers idea that I didn't see it's a hidden. Look in the middle of warmth under your covers. Or, sorry, warmth under your. The letters warmth under your are covering a thundery, thundery. And accompanied by loud blasts would be thundery, as in thundery weather. We need some of that here. So this must be doable now, he says, desperately trying to think of a word that fits this second, something flush. Uncomfortable? What? It must be. Oh, you get a hot flush. Oh, because it's connected to the wrong. That's brilliant. So a hot flush is an uncomfortable feeling. And if the toilet water was connected to the wrong pipe, it wouldn't be attached to the cold, it would be attached to the hot. So a hot flush is what you might achieve in your toilet in such circumstances. Very clever. Really like that. Witty. And actually, the ones I got stuck on were not that difficult. It was just me being a bit slow. But I'm going to blame the fact it's probably 40 degrees in my office. I don't know if you can see that from my face, but it is really hot, and therefore my brain isn't working. Bad, naughty brain. Anyway, let's have a quick go. Hopefully a quick go. Let me just check that the video is still recording. Yeah, I think we're still good, aren't we? So we should be able to have a go at least at the quick cryptic. I would try and race and redeem myself. Who's this one by? Joker. Slash speed fabric making. No idea. Type averages mean. Seat with groups. Don't know. Cash in note for order to tenor. Might be wrong. Oh, no, don't know. Porter, perhaps primarily ale. Neglect to make time. No, watered down, dilute, colour, puce. Dilute, I think that's dilute, don't know why. Comes back from the dead, seemingly in frilly knickers. Right, I don't know. Devious Setter's Way is street. At Tot. One spiteful traveller returning after 6. V per, probably. Rep, yeah. A new split engulfing Church of England. Recent. Misspelt it. Bother. That's not going to help me. Let's go for that one then. Contend with opinion. View. Vi and W. Milk supplier. Cow. Chow. Okay, we need to go back down here. Chopped chicken cut by wife. Chopped hewn. Hen with W. Surprise conservative launch. Surprise is I don't know. What's that one then? Hit small lorry. That's struck. Okay, we're going to have to look at the downs. That's the way. Stressed oarsman turned up in prison. Rower? Stressed. Turned up in prison, not sure. Departed port. Left? No. Port is the left side of the ship, actually. Warning about tax curbing entrepreneurship. Warning. Caveat, I think. Feels like caveat. Put in a bid for tender. Isn't a tender a type of boat? Smoke joint with mic for hours. Smolder, shoulder with a substitution. Daredevil, right on top of tree. Rash. Good, excellent, ripping. Gripping. What char does? Cleaning. Okay. Looked intently, but missing a. Looking intently, staring. String. Okay, so we've done some. Let's try and get the rest of this. Slash lace rate. Seat with group support. Set T. Doe it must be then. Doe a deer. Neglect to make time. Forget forge. And T. Water down. I'm going to go for reduce, I think. Red U, yeah. Comes back from the dead. I don't know. Stressed. Oarsman turning up in prison. Oarsman. What is that? Rower? Oh, something. It's something careworn or something, I think. Yeah, yeah. Comes back from the dead. Undies? Undies. Is that right? I don't know. Launch confound? Surprise, confound. Yeah, that's going to... Okay, that's what I would go for. I'm slightly worried about undies there. It's correct. 12th out of 171. Not absolutely dire, but just quite dire. And look at this time. I mean, this is what's so depressing. Jason James, that's a real time. Jason doesn't cheat. And that's 2 minutes 13. And I was 3 minutes 41. It's appalling, isn't it? It's appalling. I do not know. I do not know how you do that puzzle in 2 minutes 13. I didn't think I was being that slow. I mean, it's twice as quick, but anyway, phenomenal. Some people's brains are phenomenal. My brain is heat encumbered. That's what I'm going to claim. Anyway, thank you so much. If you're still here, you're probably not. Everyone's probably left by now. But if you are still here, maybe drop a kind comment in. We enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. Do subscribe if you can. And thank you so much for being with the channel. And let us know too how your own cryptic crossword solving is coming along. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.